Hey everyone, how's it going? So, we're back with another pickups video, NES, Super NES games. So as always, after I show you what I've got, we're going to test them out and see if they actually work. We're going to see if I got some gems or some duds. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Sit back, relax, get comfortable, because this is going to be a long one. This is going to be a real long one. So we're going to start with Super Nintendo first. So we've got quite a few Super Nintendo games to go through. First up is one I've never had before, never even played before. We have Jeopardy! Sports Edition. For whatever reason, on eBay, this is kind of expensive. I don't know why. I found it for $1.99 somewhere else, so I just picked it up. $1.99, added another one to the collection. I'm all for it. So Jeopardy! Sports Edition. Then we have another one that I've never played before, never owned. We have Winter Olympic Games. And don't worry, there are some sports games. Most of them are not sports games, so it's not going to be a video of nothing but sports games, I promise. So yeah, Winter Olympic Games. This is one of those cartridges. It's kind of, half of it's colored and yellowed and yeah. Yeah, let me pause the TV so you don't hear that in the background. Alright, next up is one I actually had when I was younger, and I enjoyed it, but now I absolutely suck at it. I played it recently on an emulator, but glad to have this one back in the collection. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. Yeah, I loved this when I was younger. Like I said, played it on emulator a little while ago, and I absolutely sucked. My reflexes and reaction times are definitely not what they used to be. Alright, up next is one I've actually never had in my collection before, so glad to have this one in the collection. We have WWF Royal Rumble. Get out of the glare there. Yeah, I had Raw, WrestleMania arcade game, Super WrestleMania, never had Royal Rumble, but now I do. Alright, up next is one that I did have in my collection before, and I was never really good at it at all. I didn't know how to do any of the moves in this game. We have Primal Rage, where the dinosaurs and giant apes fight each other. Yeah, I was always horrible at this game. Don't know how to do any of the moves, but maybe that'll change. Hey Bella. Bella's in here with me. Alright, up next we have another sports game. We have Madden 98. This is the last Madden I needed to complete the Super Nintendo Madden collection, so I went ahead and picked it up. Madden 98. Never played it, so we'll give it a try, man. At least the Panthers are in this one. So, excuse me, y'all. Burping up dinner. So yeah, Madden 98. Now I have all the Maddens on Super Nintendo. That franchise is done. It's collected. I'm glad to be done with it. Alright, up next is one I never had in my collection. I actually played this on emulator for my Super NES project, where I'm trying to play through and complete all the US released Super Nintendo games. Never actually had it in my collection until now. Super Castlevania 4. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I absolutely suck at Castlevania games. The only Castlevania games I've ever completed were Part 2 and this one. And this one took over 8 hours. You can go to my Super NES project playlist and see. I think I spent 4 hours on one stage, but it was fun though. It was hard, but it was fun, and for the first time ever, I have Super Castlevania 4 in my collection, so very happy about it. This was the last one I was waiting for before I did the video, and actually showed up today. Hold on, Bella, I'm almost done. Bella wants out. Alright, we got 3 more for the Super Nintendo before we move on to the NES. This is another one I had in my collection before I sold it all like a moron. We have Super Strike Eagle. Now, the first Strike Eagle game I ever played was on the PC, Strike Eagle 3, and it was a floppy disk, or not, well, yeah, the 3.5-inch disc. But I did have this in my collection last time, so I'm glad to have it back. Super Strike Eagle. Oh man, I have a love-hate relationship with the dogfighting, the jet games. They're really hard, but some of them are really fun. Alright, up next we have another one I've never had in my collection before. I've never even played this one. We have Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures. So yeah, looking forward to trying this one out. Never played it before, don't know what to expect, so hopefully it works. Like I said, once I show you all the games I've got, we're going to go test them out, and I will show you all that, as always. Alright, the last Super Nintendo game. This is one that I've played multiple times, and it is brutal, man. It's brutally hard, brutally difficult to me, anyway. I've never had it in my collection until now. The final Super Nintendo game, Final Fight. So I really hope this one works. Alright, so those are the Super Nintendo games I picked up. Now we're going to move on to the NES, and there's like twice the amount of NES games that there was Super Nintendo games. So let me let Bella out of the room, and I'll show you what I got for the NES. Alright everyone, you see the Super Nintendo games that I'm adding to the collection. So now it's time for the NES games, and there are a ton of them. Bella's back in here and she's rubbing her face on the tripod, so if the camera shakes, that's why. Hey, pretty girl. So yeah, like I said at the beginning of the video, sit back, relax, and get comfortable. We're going to be here for a while. So let's start the NES with one that I actually got complete in the box. It's one I had never even heard of before. Now, when I started this collection, I said I was only going to get complete in the box games that were ones that I really, truly wanted complete in the box. I went on eBay and typed in NES complete in box just for, you know, laughs and giggles. And this was up there. The auction was ending in 2 hours and the bidding was only at $5. So I figured, why not? And I ended up winning $8 complete in box Nintendo game. We have Vegas Dream. Never heard of it until I found it that day. It is complete in the box. We'll open it up for you real quick. I mean, it's got the styrofoam at the bottom of the box. It's got the game, the dust cover, cartridge, the manual, and all the little inserts, and the poster. So yeah, Vegas Dream, complete in the box for very cheap. And what's funny is I looked up just the cartridge, because like I said, I had never heard of it until I saw the listing for this one. So I looked up the price for the cartridge on its own. The cartridge on its own was going for $15 to $20, and to get it complete in the box for $8, I thought I got a hell of a deal. You want out again? All right, let me let Bella out, and we'll continue. All right, Bella's out. I just left the door open because she's going to be back and forth. She does not like having doors closed. Alright, the rest of these are just the carts only. So first up, we have a game that I've played many times, but never actually had it in my collection until right now, and I'm actually excited about it. I hope it works. We have Pac-Man. Never had it in the collection before. I'm hoping it works. I hope all of them work, honestly. But I'm very happy to have Pac-Man in the collection. Up next, we have another wrestling game. This is one that I never had in my collection, but I actually rented it when I was younger, when I lived in Italy. Rented it from the video store and spent an entire weekend playing it. WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. And unfortunately, it does have someone's name on the cart. I'm going to have to clean that up. But yeah, WWF WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. Alright, up next we have a game that I've played many times before but never actually had in the collection until now, so I'm excited about that. This one was actually, I always thought this game was pretty hard, to be honest with you. We have Bump and Jump. So yeah, played this lots of times, never completed it. It was always really difficult, but it was fun. So glad to have Bump and Jump in my collection, finally. Up next, we have a game that I had in my collection before. I love this game. I've never been able to beat this game. And I really hope it works, man. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I love this game, man. I've never made it to Mike Tyson. I get stuck on Bald Bull. I think it's Bald Bull. If Bald Bull's the guy that rushes down the screen and charges you, that's the one I've always been stuck at. I've actually got videos on the channel of me being destroyed by Bald Bull. But yeah, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Had it in the collection before. Glad to have it back, man. And it is hard to find a decent price for this. It's one of the more popular ones, so it's most of the time the listings are pretty expensive, but I lucked out with that one. Alright, up next is one I had in my collection when I was younger and I absolutely loved, and I can't wait to play this again. Ivan Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road. This is really, really fun. I used to spend hours playing this when I was younger, so definitely looking forward to playing this again. Ivan Iron Man Stewart's Super Off-Road. We got a lot more to go, folks. Up next is another one I had in my collection. I'm not very good at these type of games, but I still had fun with it. Dr. Mario. Yeah, like the Tetris-like games, I absolutely suck. But I always have fun with it. I had Dr. Mario. Matter of fact, we got Dr. Mario when I was living in Italy. I remember going to the BX on the base there and seeing it, and we didn't realize it was like a Tetris game. We thought it was an actual sides like platform Mario game, and we took it home like, what in the world is this? But it's fun though, so glad to have Dr. Mario back in the collection. This is another one that I had in my collection when I was younger. I recently beat it for the first time, I think 2 years ago on emulator, but at least I beat it. I'm glad to say I finally finished it. Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Now, like I said, I absolutely suck at Castlevania games. This one and Castlevania 4 are the only Castlevania games I've ever managed to complete. But yeah, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. For some reason, this is the cheapest in the NES trilogy. I wanted to get the other two, but yeah, prices were kind of outrageous. So I wanted to get some Mega Man games for the NES, but good lord, the prices on Mega Man games are insane. So yeah, there's no Mega Man. Nah, that'll be quite a while. Alright, up next is a game I've never had in my collection before. I've never even played this, so I'm looking forward to playing this. We have Bad Dudes. I know it's a beat 'em up. Maybe it's like Double Dragon, I don't know. Like I said, I've never played it, but I'm looking forward to playing it. Finally having it in the collection. Bad Dudes. Actually, you know what? I've played the arcade version, now that I think about it. I played the arcade version last year, and every time you beat a level, your guy would scream, "I'm bad." Yeah. Alright, this is another game that I had in my collection before I sold it. I actually had a complete in box. Days of Thunder. Racing game. It's okay. It's not bad, but it's not great. But I still enjoyed it. And the Days of Thunder movie is awesome. If you have not seen the Days of Thunder movie, do yourself a favor and check it out. But yeah, Days of Thunder, back in the collection, where it belongs. Alright, this is another one that I never had in my collection. I played it on emulator for about 20 minutes, so I'm looking forward to getting back into it because I love the first one. So I'm looking forward to actually sitting down and going through this second one. We have Star Tropics 2, Zoda's Revenge. It does have the battery pack in it, so every time I get a game that has like the battery pack to save your file, I'm excited because I like to go in there and see how if anyone else's save files are up there and to check out how far they got. So maybe there's some saved files up here. We'll see. So yeah, Star Tropics 2, Zoda's Revenge. Hey Bella. Hello, my sweet cat. Alright, those were 2 piles. Now we got 2 more piles. Up next is a game I've never had in a collection either. It's a game I've never even played. I've seen other people playing it on Twitch and it looked kind of cool, so I wanted to try it out. We have Shadowgate. It looked like kind of like a dungeon crawler. So I've only played one dungeon crawler in my life, and it was Eye of the Beholder on Super Nintendo, and oh my god. And this one has the battery pack. So there may be some saved files up here too. So we'll see. Shadowgate. Up next is another one I've never had in my collection before. And I don't know. I don't know if it's ooh, that looks dirty. I just looked at the pins. The pins look filthy, so I don't even know if this is gonna. We might have to clean this one out. Anyway, California Games. I've never played this one before. I played California Games 2 on the Super Nintendo as part of my Super NES project. Yeah. So we have California Games. The pins, I don't know if that's picking it up, but they look filthy. Probably have to clean this up to get it to work. That might not work immediately. Alright, this is another one I've never had in my collection, but I have played it before. I had it on floppy disk. Not the 3.5 floppy, the big 5-inch floppy disk. On DOS. So, I've actually played this on emulator for the NES. This is my first time actually owning it. King's Quest V. I love this game on PC. The floppy disk version, it was amazing. The NES version I played on emulator a few months back, the end of last year. I still enjoyed it, man. I love the King's Quest franchise, and to finally own King's Quest V on NES, I'm really happy, man. This is like one of my holy grails for the collection. So very excited to have this, and really hope it works, man. Really hope it works. It looks clean. Pins look really clean, so King's Quest V, we'll see what happens. Alright, this is another one that I've never had in a collection, and believe it or not, I've never actually played this one. Double Dragon. I've never played the first Double Dragon, ever. I always had the second one when I was younger. Never played the first one, so finally having it in the collection, finally gonna give it a shot. Double Dragon. So now that we have Double Dragon 1 and we have Double Dragon 2, We got Double Dragon 3. I've actually never played Double Dragon 3 either, so looking forward to playing this one. And I have all these on the emulator, and I still haven't played them on the emulator either, so looking forward to playing Double Dragon 3. First time I've had it in my collection. Alright, this is another one I've never played and never had in the collection before. We have Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2. Now, I added the first one to the collection 2 or 3 weeks ago. I had part 3 when I was younger. That was the only one I ever had. I wanted to add part 3 to the collection, but man, like, the price on part 3 is insane. So that's going to be a little while. That'll be quite a while. So we have Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2. So we got the first 2 in the collection now. Alright, this is the last stack, y'all. This is one that I've never had in a collection before. This is one I've never played before, but I absolutely love the first one. We have Adventure Island 2. Now, this one was pretty expensive when I looked it up. I wasn't going to get it, but then I found a listing for it that was half the price of everyone else's listing. But the person selling it had 0 feedback, but it said they sold 10 items already, so I took a chance. And it got here really quick, so hopefully it works. Adventure Island 2, never played it, never had it in the collection until now. So we got the first 2 Adventure Islands. Adventure Island 3, that's gonna be, yeah, that'll be a while. The price on that is like almost $100, so yeah. Though we're not getting that one anytime soon. Alright, y'all, we got 4 more. This is one I've never had in a collection, one I've never played before. I don't think I can play it now, though. I think you have to have the Rob the Robot accessory. I'm not sure. Gyromite. Like I said, I don't know if I'll actually be able to play it or not. We'll find out. So, never had that in the collection before, but it's mine now. This one is actually 2 games in one. I had never even heard of them before. So if I never heard of them before, obviously I've never had them in the collection. And I'm a little worried about it because there's something moving. I can hear something moving around, so something is broken inside the card. So might not even work. It is Short Order and Explode. Never heard of it before, but yeah, for $2, why not? Unfortunately, yeah, there is something moving around in here. Don't know if that one's gonna work. Alright, up next, we have Little Nemo, the Dream Master. Now, the story with this one is, I had rewards points from a site where I buy some of my used games from, and there were 2 NES games that you can trade in your reward points for, and I had enough to get only one of them. It was either Little Nemo or Ghost and Goblins. I wanted to trade my points in for Ghost and Goblins, but of course it was out of stock, so I went ahead and traded in my points for Little Nemo. So in a way it was free, but then again it wasn't, because you had to spend a certain amount of money to build the points. But anyway, never played this before, never had in a collection. It was a rewards point redemption. Little Nemo, the Dream Master. And the last one we have is one that I've had when I was younger, one that I had in my collection before, and one of my favorite games ever on the NES, and I'm so glad to have it back in the collection. Y'all have no idea. One of my holy grails. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. I love this freaking game, man. This is my favorite of the Ninja Turtle games on the NES. This one, then part 2. So with this, I have Ninja Turtles 1 through 3. Now I have to get Tournament Fighters on the NES, and the price on that is insane, so I don't know if we'll get that anytime soon. But I'm so glad to have this back in the collection, man. I really hope it works. So those are the games that I picked up. So now that I've showed you what I got, we have to go test them out and see if they actually work. So we're gonna go in the other room where I have the Super Nintendo and the NES consoles set up, and we're gonna see if these actually work. So bear with me while I get everything set up. We're halfway done, folks. Alright everyone, we're in the other room, and we're going to test these games out to see if they work. So, we're going to start with the Super Nintendo games. And, let's see. I think Super Nintendo's video too, I'm not sure. So we're going to start with Madden 98. Okay. There we go. You just gotta blow it. Alright, so Madden 98 is working. I might have to charge the battery on this camera before we finish. Alright, so Madden 98 works. That's awesome. 1 for 1 so far. Alright, up next we're going to do Winter Olympic Games. Might as well just blow it before I put it in, right? Alright, booted right up. There we go. Winter Olympic Games. Hell yeah. Alright. Up next we have Jeopardy! Sports Edition. Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Wait. Okay. There we go. If all else fails, blow it. Alright. So we're 3 for 3 so far. Alright, up next, we're going to do Primal Rage. Oh yeah. It takes place on the planet Earth. U-R-T-H. Earth. Alright. 4 for 4. Up next is WWF Royal Rumble. Uh-oh. Mm. Uh-oh. Might have it done. And it's wanting to start, it's just not quite getting there. There we go. There we go. All right. All right, up next is Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters. And that booted right up, didn't even have to blow it. There we go. Alright, up next is Pac-Man 2. Yep. Uh-oh. Alright, we got another one being difficult. There we go. Oh my lord. The super cool hero of this game. Alright. Alright, up next we have Final Fight. They must have dropped that one in syrup or something. That cartridge is sticky. But there we go, it works. Final Fight. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to charge the battery before we even get through all the NES games. Alright, next up is Super Strike Eagle. There we go. That one booted right up. No blowing needed. Yeah, I've only got 10 minutes left on this battery. We're not going to make it through all the NES games. That's fine. Ooh, saved game. I didn't realize you could save your game on Super Strikey. That's awesome. Alright, the last Super Nintendo game, Super Castlevania 4. Oh no. Oh, there we go. It was just delayed. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are 10 for 10 with the Super NES games. That's awesome. Yes, sir. Super Castlevania 4. I don't know why I'm so excited to have that in my collection, but I am. Alright, so now that we've done the Super Nintendo games, let's test all these NES games. Alright. Let's go to input 1. Alright, we're going to do Vegas Dream first, the complete in box one that we had. We can get it out of the box here. Probably should have done that before I came in here. Alright, let's try Vegas Dream. Uh-oh. Yeah, the NES ones are always a little harder to get working. And the thing with the NES is it might start up right away on another console. It might just be like mine. Well, we're almost there. There we go. So yeah, this might start up immediately on someone else's console, but take a while on mine. I think we froze. Okay, it works. It worked. Let's put it back in the box here. Alright, Vegas Dream worked. That's good. Alright. Up next is Shadowgate. Oh boy. I don't think the NES games are going to go as smoothly as the Super NES games did. Alright, one more try. Probably just have to clean it up. Alright, so I'll have to clean this up. I mean, it's wanting to come on, but not quite getting there. So we'll clean that up. Alright, up next is Super Off-Road. Boot it right up. Love it. Yeah, the battery. Alright, I'm gonna have to charge this battery, so I will be back. Alright everyone, we're back. Had to charge the battery in the camera, but we're good to go. Anyway, the next game we're going to test, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Oh no, come on, Mike. Oh man, come on. This is the one that I wanted to work more than any of them. I'm honestly pissed off about this. The one that I wanted to work more than any of them. Oh, this is garbage. Unbelievable, man. That's unbelievable, dude. Well, now we've got a solid light, but and now it's blinking again. Wait. Yes. Oh my god, dude, I was legitimately pissed off about that one. Alright. Man, that took a while, but Mike Tyson's Punch-Out works. Alright. Man. That one took a while, didn't it? Alright, next up is Bump and Jump. Well, it works. Let's see if we can get a clearer. There we go. Alright, Bump Jump works. That's good. Oh gosh, this is bringing back memories. Alright. Alright, up next is WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge. Now, of course, once we're done testing them, we have to officially add them to the collection. So we'll do that when we're done here. Yeah, I'm just leaving the lid up on the NES for right now. Alright, WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge works. Look at Hulk Hogan. Y'all ever notice like the goofy noises Hulk Hogan makes when he's flexing his muscles? It's ridiculous. Alright, next up is Pac-Man. Oops. Let's see if we can get it clearer than that. It works. Let's see if we can get a little bit clearer. There we go. That's a clearer picture. Alright, Pac-Man works. Heck yeah, dude. Alright. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. Alright. Next up we have California Games, and I don't think this is gonna work, man. These pins look... Yeah, these pins look bad. I don't have high hopes of California Games working. Oh, wait a minute. I stand corrected. California Games, the one with the disgusting looking pins, boots right up. Alright. Well, there we go. California Games works. That's awesome. I'm going to plug a controller in because if there's a saved game file on one of these, I want to look at it. These are not the OEM controllers. They're like some third-party ones. Alright, up next is Star Tropics 2 Zoda's Revenge. This has some save files on it. Or it has the potential to. Okay. Well, we got something. There we go. Look at that. We got two save files up there, JSB and Beck. Chapter number 3. Alright, well JSB and Beck, I've got your game. I wonder how long ago those save files were created. Alright, up next we have Days of Thunder. Alright. So far, the only one we couldn't get to work was Shadowgate. Alright. Alright, next up is Bad Dudes. Alright, we've got a solid light. There we go. Alright, Bad Dudes works. Maybe. I think it froze. Okay, there we go. Blade and Striker. Alright, that works. Alright, up next is Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. There we go. Yes, sir. Dun, 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 dun. All right, that works. Alright, up next we have Dr. Mario. Boot it right up. You remember the commercial for this back in the day? It was like some voodoo tribe, and they're like, ting ting, what a bing bang. Alright, Dr. Mario works. Alright, awesome. I mean, I don't want to collect these just to have them. I want them to actually work, you know what I mean? Okay, up next we have Adventure Island 2. Uh-oh. This is the one I took a risk on because it was so cheap. And of course the listing said it was tested and working, which, I mean, it could work immediately in another console and be difficult in mine, which it is definitely being difficult. So I might have to clean this one up. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to clean up Adventure Island too. Take some alcohol to it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to take some alcohol to Adventure Island too. Like I said, I took a risk on it because it was so cheap, and yeah. We'll clean it up with some alcohol and I'll try it again later. Hopefully we can get it working. Alright, up next we have Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2. Oh gosh, really? We're not going to go on a string of bad luck, are we? Okay, it works. Let's see if we can get a clearer picture than that. There we go. That's a clear picture. Is that really him swinging? Yeah, that's swinging the sword right there. Okay, that works. Alright, up next we have Double Dragon 3. And it booted right up immediately. So that's good. Alright. Double Dragon 3 works. Now we have Double Dragon. Let's see if we can get, it works, but let's see if we can get a clear picture. There we go. Wow. Alright, Double Dragon works. Okay, well, next up is one of my holy grails, King's Quest V. Lord, please work. Yes! Alright. Yeah, there we go. That makes me happy. Alright. That is such a good game if you play it on DOS. We're almost done. We got 4 more. Up next is Little Nemo Dream Master. Oh crap. Alright, that one started right up. Mushroom Forest. I'm throwing candy. Hey little boy, what are you doing here? This place is too dangerous for little boys. Alright, that works. Alright, up next we have Short Order and Eggsplode. Uh-oh. There we go. I have no idea what this is. Short Order, Eggsplode. I'm pressing start. Okay. That's weird. I'm pressing start and nothing's happening. Well, it works. Alright, next up we have Gyromite. God, man, that is a tight fit. Alright, well it works. I have no idea what to do. Alright, y'all, last one. Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project. Another one of my holy grails. Alright, y'all. So out of all those games, there's only two that we couldn't get to work. That was Shadowgate and Adventure Island 2. So what I'll do is I'll clean them up and try to get them to work. But now that we tested everything, we have to officially add them to the collection. So I'll be right back after I do that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the games have officially been added to the collection here. Yeah. Get your eye boogers. Yep. Hello. I'm gonna clean up your eyes, they're nasty. Alright, we have officially added everything. Scott Crusher, there you go, my man. An action figure added to the collection. Just for you, buddy. Hold on, Bella. Alright, so there you have it. The collection grows. My goal of having a complete NES and Super NES collection, far from complete, but we made good progress. Bella, good lord. Baby Bella. You're such a baby. There we go, man. I'm happy with it. So there you have it. Those were the pickups this time. And yeah, the collection is growing. This makes me happy. This makes me very happy. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all take care.